Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some great boy band conversation. As always, my name is Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And unfortunately, our Mama Lou is not with us today.
She's still alive.
She is.
She's still alive, yeah.
We're just recording super early today because once we are done here, we are heading on the road
to Nashville.
Woo.
So
we bought some last minute tickets.
If you are listening to this in real time, like actually on Sunday, when you're done listening, head on over to our Instagram page where hopefully, if we can work it out and ever get on the road, you will see some interesting Instagram stories. I did this back when we were driving to Ottawa, and we were did some stories from there. So I'll try to do something similar for this road trip.
All right. And before we start
yes,
our podcast, we have a birthday. On August 29th, it's Liam Payne's birthday from One Direction. He'll be 26. So happy birthday, Liam.
Happy birthday, Liam.
Who is not a fan of One Direction. So go check out one of our previous episodes where we chat about that.
How we don't like him anymore.
But, kudos. Happy birthday.
Yes, you're very enthusiastic.
Enjoy.
It comes out.
I would just like to preface this podcast by saying if I sound a little wonkier than usual, I'm very tired. I've had a very, very long week, and I'm operating on very little sleep.
What did you call it? Sofa King tired?
Yes, she's so fucking tired.
Yes. So
because there's lots of levels, apparently.
Yes. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's where I'm at. So, fun times. Also did not sleep much today. Yeah, good times.
But that's your life, so.
That is my life. So hopefully Rick is feeling better, even though he doesn't listen to this podcast. And yeah, you can listen to it.
No one who listens to it knows who Rick is. But
I know. Good times.
I think when you're tired, you just say.
I'm just gonna say things. So I apologize in advance if anything comes out weird. So there you go.
All right.
I would also like to say that the theme of this review is we're too old for this shit.
Yes, we are.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So, again, if you follow us on Instagram, which you should be doing, guys, come on.
Awesome.
At Boy Band Break.
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 And you were following us, again, real time last night, which was August 24th.
Yes. 25th?
4th. 5th?
24th.
24th, because today's the 25th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yesterday was the 24th. We were at the Jonas Brothers concert last night in Toronto.
Woo!
So I posted a bunch of Instagram stories from that, and I mentioned on our page that we would be reviewing the show today. So here we are, reviewing
Here we are.
Happiness Begins tour.
So welcome Joe Bro fans and possibly Jonas Brothers if you're listening as well.
Oh, yeah.
We're always available to interview you, so just give us a shout.
Oh, yes, please.
Boybandbreak@gmail.com.
Because they got nothing else going on, those guys.
They're on a bus or a plane. Anyways, so we went to the second show.
Yes, so they did two. Well, technically they're doing 3 shows in Toronto, but the third
next one
is
in November.
Yeah,
so it's at the end of the leg. So they did. So the tickets went on sale. They went pretty quickly. We were aiming for cheap tickets.
I feel like they did the first show, but then almost immediately added the second show,
which is what we like when boy bands do that.
Yes.
So you don't have to travel to Nashville.
because I feel like we were just we'll let the tickets go on sale, and then if we can get some, we're not going to fight actual Joe Bros fans to get these.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But then when they announced the second show, it was a little bit easier. Granted, our tickets, if you watch the Instagram story, our tickets were behind the stage.
High fiving Jesus. Granted, we weren't as high up in the arena as we were for New Kids in Buffalo.
No.
We were in the 300 level, 8 rows up.
Yeah.
But definitely behind the stage. And then we're like, oh, look. So I made the observation of, they have a screen facing us so we can see what's happening at the front of the stage.
When we walked in, when we actually got inside the arena, BB Rexa opens for them, so she was just finishing up her set when we came in.
We missed Dr. Phil's son apparently also opens for them,
okay.
Jordan McGraw. So I have no idea if he's
I have no idea
that
about
is.
that either. But anyways, we walked in during BB Rexa's set, and we saw this screen, and if you didn't know at that point, you're like, oh, look, they have a screen facing us, because their giant screen that kind of lifts up and down behind them blocks them a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if they're not at the front of the stage and you're sitting behind the stage, you can't see them.
Which, you know what? When you bought those tickets, did it say obstructed view?
Don't think so.
Yeah, that's BS.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have.
Let's get
I
our
think so, too.
$39 back.
What the hell, man, Ticketmaster?
What the
I
hell,
should have
indeed.
known that I was buying an obstructed view.
Yes.
Not that it would have
Maybe it
changed
did say
anything.
it, I don't know.
But
And then people were sitting in our seats, and I'm like, I'm tired. Please move.
okay. Yeah, that was also annoying, but I'm going to tell you what actually happened because I just thought the guy was being a dick, but I don't think he was. So, because we were at the end of an aisle and because we were behind the stage, the more to the left you were sitting,
You couldn't really see
the
them,
more you could see, right?
or couldn't see.
No, could.
Oh, okay.
You were to the left of me, right?
Yes.
So the
That's
more
what
we
she
moved
means
in
on
your
your side.
direction.
Oh,
On
yes.
the other
Sorry,
side,
yes.
Yeah, on the other
correct.
side can see.
Yes.
Can.
The more you move to the left,
Yes.
the more
The
you-
more behind the stage you get, you can't see. So that's
Yeah.
what. Okay, I got
Yes.
you now. I understand.
Yes. So obviously, I guess because we had come in like sort of in the middle of this BB Rexa set, these people had all moved all the way to the end of the aisle
To be
able
slightly
to
closer.
see, so they
Yeah.
could see like even a couple more centimeters of the stage. So we get there and we're like, "Is this our aisle?"
And
because
there's only one seat available.
Yeah, because there's literally one seat in the entire row, and like whatever. And so Chunzia like flashes her flashlight to be like,
let me tell you, I had a very bad bus ride in, and I was going to murder people on the bus. And then I thought that I'm not going to be able to go to the concert. Probably shouldn't do that. And then
it turned out it was.
it was ours. So that like the flashlight is very good. So
It is very
so I'm like,
good.
okay, we are right.
So then I look at this guy who's sitting not in the last seat, but in the second to last seat. And I'm like, these are our seats. And he's like, oh, okay, sorry. And him and his girlfriend move over one seat when there's clearly three of us. So now there's two chairs. So then Sophia just goes and sits down.
because that's Sophia.
And
Mad at this person.
me and Shinzi are staring at this
drinking.
one remaining chair.
So then I'm
And
like,
so-
should I sit on the cement beside the chair, like on the
So I say to the
staircase?
guy, I'm like, I'm sorry, these are our seats. You're still sitting in our seat. And he's looking at me and like pointing down the row. And I'm like, no, these are our seats. Our seats are not down there. These three are ours.
Listen, youngins, we're old. We know what's.
we need to
I'm
sit
like,
down.
literally, Shinzia just put her flashlight on the seat. I know this is mine. And he keeps pointing down that way. And I'm like, I'm not going down there. Like, I was so close to just going and getting an usher and being like, this guy is in our seat and will not move. And then I think in between a song, like, I could finally hear him. And he's like, I can't move because all these people have moved over. So he's like,
Yes.
I need all of them to move down. And I'm like, oh, so he wasn't just being an asshole.
Yeah.
He literally couldn't move down. So now, and the girls behind me are even looking at me like, why won't this like effer move?
Yeah.
And so then finally somebody down there taps those people at the very end on the shoulder and is like, you need to move down. So they finally did. And then everybody moved down one seat and we could finally sit. But Jesus.
I was just like, what is going on? But I gotta say, it was friggin' sold out.
Oh,
'Cause I was
yes.
looking even
there was
in
like
the
not one
there was
seat.
it was
that I could
totally
see.
empty. So I was
Packed.
empty, full. It was totally full. Yeah. So
It was
kudos to
packed.
Joe Bros for like selling it out. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
because I don't know what it was like Friday, but I'm going to assume it's the same. And I don't
think
know what
so.
it's going to be like in November, but
yeah.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
the
they have
same.
a lot of really good songs. So, are we going to start talking about the show? I had a point. Sorry, continue on with what you were saying.
you had a point,
I had
but
a point,
you forgot it.
disappeared.
because you're tired.
Anyways, so yes. Oh, so about the screen.
Yes.
So when we came in during this time, we finally sit down, and it appeared that this screen was. We were like, "Oh, cool! They put this screen here so we could see what's happening because their giant screen behind them blocks us from seeing them." So we're like, "That's fine, whatever." Right? But then when she goes off, and it's kind of in between, like her set and Jonas Brothers' set. They're flashing stuff up on the screen that has like writing on it, and I'm like, cool, we're just looking at it backwards.
That's great.
So instead of it being like a TV screen, it was like one of those like big white sheets that you project on. So we were just seeing the back of it. So it's like text the Jonas Brothers, and I'm like, and it's all backwards. They're like, buy their book. which I'm very interested in the book.
I feel like we knew about this. I feel like
Yeah.
we may have mentioned this back in our other reviews of their stuff.
Okay.
I feel like
If
I'm
I
gonna go
recall
back and check.
correctly, it looks like it's coming out in November, but I couldn't
I
tell
believe
because
so.
Yeah, we were looking at it backwards, so it was hard to
So
tell.
yeah,
not
so
really
I was just
sure.
like, oh, that's so nice. They had a screen. So I like updated Facebook and then like updated Facebook like 2 minutes later. Like, never mind. It's not,
It's backwards.
it's not for us. We're just sitting here like chumps behind the thing.
And at first I was like, oh, it's just showing whatever is on the big screen, which would have been great, but it also was not doing that because they had like little like pre-taped
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to
footage
see the
in between.
So that was sad that we didn't get to see that part, but we got
And
to
they,
hear it.
for some reason, couldn't project that on those little screens. I also noticed at some points during the show that it was kind of hard to tell, but if you looked at the one on the
the other side?
opposite side, it was showing something different.
Oh, so they were showing like
Because,
different
like,
guys on.
one time, I can't remember what song they were performing, but literally for a solid, like, 2 to 3 minutes, they just showed Joe. I'm like, there are other people in the band. What is this cameraman?
Where's
Yeah, I
Kevin?
didn't
Kevin
even
Love.
know
What is
there.
this cameraman's problem? But then I looked across and the other camera was on Nick. And I was like, oh, so probably.
So maybe because they were on the opposite sides of the stage.
Yes. I was like, okay.
Kevin.
So on this screen, they're showing Joe. And on this screen they're showing Nick. And nobody gives a shit about Kevin,
Poor
apparently.
Kevin. Isn't he the underdog, I guess?
Kevin, I feel you, bro. You're my favorite.
They pretended he had a mic a few times.
He was mouthing some words, so I think he did sing a little bit. And one song he did sing, like he was singing at the beginning of the song, and I was
The
just like,
piano one?
possibly, but I feel like once when he was playing a guitar on the near us, he was singing, and I was like, oh, Kevin.
He was singing into a microphone?
Maybe the piano one, it looked like he was singing, and then it didn't look.
The
like he
only
was
other
singing.
time he might have been singing, and it was hard to tell. So they had a main stage, and then
Also-
they had a B stage, so they would like run down the center of the floor,
which was amazing to
Hilarious.
watch
Yes,
because
because
they
all
had
the
an aisle,
fans.
right? So normally, like usually boy bands have like a whole like thing that they walk across or whatever. No, this was it. They were on the ground running, and then you would just see this like sea of people
like running towards.
push towards
the
the thing, and
barricade.
then like
Center.
the barricade and out.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was
It
hilarious.
was pretty good.
It was very entertaining. I was just like, oh, they're moving again. Look, there's
There-
everyone.
there's
It's like,
the people.
woo, it was like a flowing wave. It was fantastic.
It was great.
It looked really entertaining from way up.
Yes.
Yeah,
when
so
you're
we-
high fiving Jesus, you can see things
you can
that.
see lots of fun
Yeah,
things
so that was
happening.
fun when that was. And we also got to see them before they went on the stage.
That's
we saw them
true.
come out, and they
Yes.
were standing there in their little suits,
And they were
getting
taking
ready.
a little bit of time to get
And
ready.
we're like, oh, look, there they are. Look, we got front row tickets.
We got front row tickets to the backstage.
you
What?
can see what's going on.
And they came in on a platform, which I didn't realize that's what they were coming in
Yeah,
on.
Yes.
they like flew over their stage and then dropped
Yes.
down. That was kind of cool.
It was.
No, but the other thing I was going to say, what I was saying about the B stage is, so then the B stage is at the back of the floor, and
where the bar is.
yeah, where they have very.
So I think it was like
expensive seats.
$1,000 for those ones, but I think you got free unlimited
Yeah.
free drinks, or at
It
least 2
appeared
free
that you
drinks.
did because there was like a bar on each side, and people were just like, ooh,
people
and there
had
was like
signs.
tables and seats
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So probably not a bad idea, but
No, I'm sure
Also,
it's good.
like,
New
whatever.
kids do that a lot.
yes, new kids, but they have stools on there.
Yes, and you're like front row
And
of
I
a
feel
main
like
stage.
the front of the main stage, they also had a pit area.
Yes, but there
It
was
was
no
very
like
small,
drinks or
though.
anything
No,
No,
included
it was
with
just
that
like
one.
a thing. Yeah,
I wonder if you got meet and greet included with that.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Cool.
Back to my point about the B stage, Kevin had a microphone over there. Whether he was always using it or not, I don't know, but there was 3 mics.
Yes.
Yes.
So I don't know if we mentioned in previous we have mentioned it in previous episode that Diana's
That-
pointing a finger. Am I not talking to the microphone?
No, you are.
Okay.
What's happening?
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to let you talk again because I don't know where that thought was going. So
Okay, no problem. Do you want to just like start going through the set list and then we can talk about like each
Okay,
song,
the
what we
parts
thought,
of the-
like that
sure.
kind of stuff?
Okay. Spoiler alert. Here's the set list, guys.
Yes.
Yes, I don't want to say stop listening,
Oh, I think
but
I was
We
talking
apologize.
about how in previous episodes we had mentioned that we were not huge Jonas Brothers
Yeah,
fans
yeah.
back in the day.
Yes.
So we didn't know a lot of the songs, but this they had a lot of the newer songs on this.
I would say I knew
They had a pretty good mix.
minimum 50%, if not
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yes. So yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to start. So Sophia was really, really excited
I
to
was
hear
really
this
excited
song.
for Roller Coaster.
So Roller Coaster is what
That's
they
like
started
one of
off
my faves.
with. So
Which is nice because
Yeah.
that's like, as we discussed when we did our review of their album, That's like the song about their journey of getting to this point.
Yes.
And it was also fun because they had just come down over their stage in a platform. It was
Like
almost
in a-
like
like
they
a
were on a
roller coaster.
standing roller
coaster
coaster.
motion.
Yes, so there you go.
So cute.
So cute.
Ties together.
Okay, so then after that was SOS.
This is an SOS, don't want a second guess.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep.
That was an old song
Yes.
that they were like famous for.
But I still kind of felt like I kind of knew it. So I was like,
yeah.
It was like
I knew
relative.
it.
The thing about the Jonas Brothers is, and I was like saying, I can't remember who I was saying this to. They're like, I don't know any Jonas Brothers songs, and I'm like, I'm not 1,000% surprised by that because besides "Sucker," because everybody knows that now. But like back in the day, I don't think their songs were really on the radio. Like people knew them if they watched the Disney
Channel, yeah.
But I don't
maybe
think, like,
maybe more in the States and maybe not in
mainstream
Canada as much.
radio and like MTV and Much Music and stuff were playing their songs.
Yeah, well, I think it was more music videos they were playing.
Okay. No, I can see that. And also we're slightly older than them. So we
No,
missed
but
that
I mean,
area.
okay, we're slightly older than them, fine, and that's why we weren't like we weren't watching the Disney Channel, obviously.
But
But
Gen Z
I
are
mean,
watching
if it was
Disney.
playing on mainstream radio, you work in radio, you would have heard
that's
it.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
And I own a car.
I feel like I've
listen to the
heard
radio
Love
in the
Bug.
car.
I feel like Love Bug is one that
Yeah, I've
people
heard Love Bug before.
and obviously
I don't
Year
know.
3000. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't have as
the
much.
only song I do remember hearing "Burning Up" on the
Yes.
radio. Like there was like one summer that it like I was like, whoa, okay. But other
But
than that,
that's been replaced by the Nick Carter Burning Up. So every time I
Yes.
think Burning Up, I'm thinking I'm burning up and up.
do 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 do. But no, it's not that. Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be great.
Oh my God, they
Anyways.
totally
Oh, that
should collab.
reminds me of another thought I had later on, Paul.
Anyways, no. But I'm just saying, I'm not 100% surprised because mainstream radio wasn't really playing. That was during a time when like.
When
I
boy
can
bands weren't
recall-
really, like,
yeah, I can
around.
recall like Backstreet Boys were releasing new albums like 2007, 2009,
And they weren't getting a lot of
and
airplay
we were like
either.
play their songs, and they were
Yeah.
like throwing their CDs in the trash and like whatever. So
Yeah.
it just like wasn't the right time really. But luckily they had the Disney Channel. Anyways,
Yes.
carry
All right,
on.
so next is Cool.
Yes.
Would you like that
Second
one?
Signal.
Oh, do we want to talk about their ensembles that they were wearing? Or do you want
sure.
to- So they came out wearing suits.
Oh, you know what I was going to tell you? So continue, please.
No, that's it. What were you going to
They came out wearing. Oh no!
So they came out wearing full suits. So
That was the end of
Nick
your
was
thought?
green, Joe was pink, and Kevin was purple.
Yes.
Then eventually they went to go change, and that involved them taking off their suit jacket. So Kevin had what is that thing called? A vest. And then Joe had a T-shirt, and Nick had possibly a silk blouse. I'm not really sure.
It looked like pajamas.
That
No,
was
that
oh,
was-
okay.
Then when they actually did an actual costume change, then Nick came out looking like he was wearing striped pajamas, and then they were wearing black and white.
They were all black and white. But
then-
what I was going to tell you was, I saw some pictures from the Friday show, and their suits were different colors.
Ah, okay.
So they switched it up.
I don't know, I just felt like the suits were kind of like I don't know. I
Like
didn't
one
realize- I
was
wasn't-
orange. I think one was still green. Maybe Nick was still green.
But,
I don't
like,
know.
I wonder
That-
why they decided
then
to wear
blue.
those.
And the projector was not doing a good color thing because he looked almost like it looked different colors than what he was wearing.
It
on
did
stage.
look
The
I know,
green
but I was
weird.
like, ooh, we got
was
pink
like
and
beige.
purple.
yes.
Ooh, we're
I do like
awesome.
pink, and I was just like, I liked how Joe was more casual with the T-shirt under there, and I was like, I'm liking you, Joe. I'm gonna put Kevin as my first. I'm gonna go Joe second.
Good job,
Oh,
Joe.
okay.
Yep.
Way to do it.
Because at
up.
one point when Joe was coming over to our side, I'm like, woo, and then you're like, what the fuck, Joe fan? I'm like, I don't know.
Because
trying to be
Chinzia, okay,
fun,
as
having a
she
great
said
time.
at the beginning of this podcast, was like half asleep for
my God.
the entire
That was
concert, aside
entertaining
from maybe
as
like
well.
5 minutes. Okay, like literally, she was just like, yeah.
So
woo.
I would also like to point out that I don't know, I've probably mentioned this before, that I need to be, for a concert to be very good, I need to have good seats so I can have contact or at least see their faces. And I also need to know a majority of the songs so I can sing along. And I also need to not be half asleep, which I feel like there was a couple things there. But anyways, what were we
My
saying?
point of this was that she was most of the concert, she was literally half asleep, but she would have these like little moments of like energy. And like, so one of the times was like, the stage was, It looked like an eyeball.
Almost. I was thinking either like an anchor or an eyeball. It was
it was like rounded at the top and rounded at the bottom, but came to a point on either side, and then there was like a thing down the middle. So it was kind of like a cat eye or something.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and I liked how it like lit up, colorful.
Yes,
it was great.
And so when they would come all the way to the right side where we were sitting, like out to that point of the eyeball.
Yes.
The corner.
Yes.
That was like our closest vantage point because they actually even had to go up a few stairs to get up there.
Yeah, because that part was elevated.
Elevated a little. So at one point, like they did this multiple times, and most of the time Chinzia was like waving like from sitting down, But one time, like Joe came over, and all of a sudden she stands up. She's like, "Whoa!"
In my defense, the girls behind me were also screaming Joe's name, so I was like, "All right," it gave some energy.
I was like, "Okay, we got a Joe fan over here." Like, what the hell?
I like the color pink. It was fine. All right. Anyway, so after Cool, Only Human, which I also like.
Yes.
Is that a new single now too?
Yes.
No, they're new.
It's a new song.
No, I know it's a new song, but what is the newest single after Cool?
Oh, maybe it is that?
Possibly.
Yeah. I think it is.
Yeah. Anyways, I like it.
I'm not good with song titles. I know how song.
Right?
Yeah,
that's the song.
That's the song. But is that Only Human?
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
Only Human. Yeah,
I like that one.
I'm not good with song titles.
Then Strangers.
Yes, that's not a single, but it's off the new album.
Okay.
It's like down at the bottom somewhere. I know tracks by number.
Yeah.
It's like 10 or something.
Yes.
No, it's not 10. 10 is the good one. It might be 11.
Yes, so that was good. Then it was That's Just the Way We Roll.
That must have been an old one
I
because
have no idea
have
what that
never
one
heard
is.
that song before.
Although I tried to, still dance.
Sophia is a champ, man.
He's a Joho,
You know what?
apparently.
Come on.
I did call her Joho
You
in the
go to
middle.
a concert. What are you gonna do? Sit down
Sophia's,
and
like,
pretend
dancing.
Like Come on. You paid money. You're gonna like dance.
No,
But it was very entertaining because Sophia was like the very outgoing, singing along to every song, dancing along. Diane was kind of like the mid round, and then I was the oh my god, I'm so tired and trying to.
No,
We
but
had
you know what
3
was
different
even like
stages.
more entertaining? Is that like Sophia is actually the MVP of like pretending she knows the lyrics to songs, but not actually knowing them.
Like obviously, sometimes you can guess what it's going to be, but
Yeah.
Sophia like would just
Lyrics, come on,
move
you
her
can
mouth
tell.
and stuff. I feel like one of the boys called you out on it once because they were the Backstreet Boys because you were singing along to a song
that
was
was when
new.
we were watching the LA thing because
maybe
someone
that
in
was
the
it.
audience was doing the same thing.
They're like, "How do you know this song?"
You could just tell the lyrics. I don't know.
Guess where it's going.
Anyways, so she's the MVP of doing this and dancing and acting like, "Whoa, I love this song," even though she's never heard it before.
Yes, so
Having a
Right?
great time. See,
So
having a great
Getting my
time.
money's
Sophia
worth.
is like dancing and like, clapping and waving her arms. Right? And then directly in front of her are like 2 little kids who are doing the exact
Oh my
same
god,
thing.
they were like,
They knew none of the lyrics to any of these songs, but were also like faking it and wildly dancing. And I was just like,
I felt like they knew some of the songs.
oh, they did not.
They were very excited to be there, and I was just like, "How
Was that
old?"
their
And I was
dad
like,
or a
"I think it was their
Oh, that
dad."
had to be their grandfather.
Okay, because I was like,
No,
Those
because
kids were like
those,
10 at the max.
Were those 2 women with them?
I don't think so.
Because I thought maybe one was the mom and then one was the
don't
grandmother.
think so.
No.
The dad guy was just
No,
being
that was
dad
a
guy.
grandfather.
The grandfather was
Yeah.
just standing there, whatever. And then,
Those kids were 10 at the max. There's no way that man has kids that young.
Well, men can have
I
kids at any age.
suppose, but
No, they were very happy.
this
to be there,
man was
those
in his
kids.
70s easily.
Yeah.
but he was also like
He
cheering.
was
and
dark.
stuff.
I don't know.
No, he actually, I was surprised. At first, he seemed super grumpy, but then after a while, he was kind of like bopping
Yeah,
along. I was like,
he's
yeah.
I felt like I
was
saw
trying.
a lot more men at even on the bus. There was like the 2 guys behind me were going to this concert, so I feel like I don't know if there was more men than usual, or I think that the Joe Bros they don't consider to be as boy bandy. So
They're a little bit more rockish. Plus, I feel like their fans are at a prime age, like kind of mid-20s to
Yeah.
early 20s, where guys would be like, "Oh, let's go to the Jonas Brothers concert. There'll be like a million girls, and we'll hit on them and stuff like that." Versus like guys our age now would be like, "Oh, fuck, that's not enough effort to go to this Backstreet Boys concert. I'll just like maybe go to a bar afterwards and see if anyone shows up." Like,
so true.
Yes.
All right, so that one was. Did I say Fly With Me?
no, you.
No.
Okay, so that's the way we roll. Then Fly With
Yeah.
Me. Then there was some other thing that we couldn't see because it was on the video. Used to Be. I like that one.
That was a
That's
good one.
New
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I did a good job on that one. Then Hesitate.
I don't know that song.
I can't remember right now. So at this point, they are now on the B stage.
During Hesitate, they go over there?
Think so. And then while they're at the B stage, which I think is pretty cool, is that they also they get song requests in the middle of the show.
More people should do this.
I'm like, that's a great idea,
So
especially
fans
if like
had time.
you have so many, like your catalog is so big, right? That you're not going to be able to include all the songs in there.
But maybe that's also a downfall, because I was just thinking their catalog is not huge, right? So it's easier, not easy, but it's easier for them to be more prepared
and know all the songs.
and know the majority of the songs and be able to because
if
Kevin's playing instruments like live on stage, as is they have like an in-house band, like actual
and I
people.
think they made it sounded like their drummer has been there since like the beginning or something, because they gave him a shout out at the
Day
concert.
But I
one
know
is what
that
they
like sometimes like when people are like, oh, why don't what about this song and that song and whatever, they'll be like, well, the band, we didn't teach the band that
don't know how to
song,
play
so
it
they
or
don't
whatever.
know it, right? So it's a little bit easier in that case for those like the people who are playing instruments to be prepared
Because Kevin
on the
obviously
fly.
was on all of the songs, yeah.
But also they could just be like, okay, we're going to look in the crowd and we're only going to pick from like these.
Yeah, true, which
know,
could be true,
Yeah.
too.
X songs. But I'm just thinking like,
Because the boy, like, for example, we've had sound checks where the Backstreet Boys are like, oh, what song do you want us to sing? And they're like, oh, sing this one. They're like, and then they have to, like, look up the lyrics on their
they're
phone.
also much older.
Yes.
Sort of like my mind.
My man.
But no, and yeah, exactly. So Backstreet Boys have 10 albums. I think Jonas Brothers only have like what, 4?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So
They should know all of their songs.
to know they should, but to remember and teach a band 10 albums worth of songs is a lot like heftier of a task.
Yeah.
So, but I still think it's a cool idea. Sophia and I went to a Bryan Adams concert, and he has like a bunch of albums, and he did that too. He was like, he literally was just like, what song do you want to hear?
Yes.
And
That's
like
cool.
let people pick. So, and he had a full band also, and he must have, I don't know exactly, but he must have a ton of albums.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And do you think they all brought the signs themselves, or do you think that the bar area had some signs that they could write?
I don't know.
I was
That's a
wondering
good
that.
question.
Because the signs were all kind of like similar-ish in size.
In size, yeah.
There was one that was because we don't know the songs. I don't know what the 2 songs they sang were. I think I Am What I Am, or
because
something,
they were
'cause
kind of trying to show the.
they're trying to show the signs, but again, because we're
It's
sitting behind the
backwards.
stage, it's
Yes.
backwards and stuff.
and we're
so-
like, what does that say?
yeah. So whatever the 2 songs they picked, they were pretty good. So whatever, that was good.
Also, we were like, oh my God, someone should hold up a sign that was like, I want it that way. Bye.
Backstreet Boys. And then I had when in my half asleep revelation at one point, I was just like, oh, I wonder how many boy banders have the same names. Like, we should compile a list of same name boy banders. Like, what's the most common name? So then I was like, Nick. So we're like, okay, that could be like Nick Carter, Nick Lachey, all those other ones. And then I'm like, Kevin, obviously Kevin Richardson. I was like, oh, too bad there's no Joe boy bander. And then Diane's like, and then I was like, oh, right, Joey Fatone. And she's like, Joey McIntyre. So then I was like, wouldn't it be fun if we could get one boy band from each of like a Nick, a Kevin, and a Joe, then to do like a Jonas Brothers song? I don't know. This is my half asleep state.
I don't know
coming
how
up
that
with
would
things.
work.
I know.
It wouldn't work. But
That's
yes.
something.
And then we're like, or the Jonas Brothers could just sing another song from another band, but they have enough of their own. All right, moving on. So I'm tired. So now they have come back to the main stage and they sang Jealous. And
Well, Nick kind of starts out over there.
Yes.
The other 2 run back.
the other 2 run back. So they did a little bit of high-fiving, but I feel like they could have interacted a little
Oh my God, they
better.
totally
on
walked
the-
by some
But
of
it was
those
just really
fans.
funny
It
just to
was-
see the wave of, oh,
Yes.
there goes the fans again. And I'm like, if I was sitting at the end of that row, I would be like, get off of me.
You would
No,
try to-
you wouldn't.
would
No,
try
I
to go
wouldn't.
to the
I would be
front.
like, I would be at the...
You would like topple
Yeah.
over people.
I would be like, my arm is very short. Please touch me. I have a sign.
Yeah. There was girls in the front row of the main stage that had signs. We're like, look, it's us.
It's
Jonas Brothers version of us.
It was great. I'm like, the sign's even pink and everything. We're like, I'm like, good job. Jinsey, Sophia and Diane. And then I was like, in 2 days we'll be seeing the Backstreet Boys in Nashville and be in these positions. So
Yay.
good times. Anyway, sorry. So then Jealous. So then Nick obviously sang most of it, but Joe also sang.
He took the whole second verse.
Yeah, it was very good.
Was
And
she
then
out of
Kevin
luck?
disappeared, and I don't know where he was. I don't
He could have been
at the back
in
of
the
the
area where we
stage.
couldn't see him.
Yeah. So
True, but still.
and then the next song was my absolute favorite performance. So it was Cake by the Ocean.
Yes, that was fun.
And they had those guys, those inflatable,
floaties.
like,
You know the
the buddies.
like
the inflatable things
those,
where their
those
arms
like the
like,
tube,
wave.
tube man or
Yes.
whatever it's called. And they were like fun colors. There was like purple and pink and yellow.
Oh my god, it was
And then
so funny.
there was like, so there, the way that the stage was set up, like the eyeball anchor thing, is they had like little stairs. And I'm like, are the guys supposed to run up and down it? No, that was for the guitar techs to run up and give them their guitars.
Yeah.
But this one guy's job was to make sure that the pink guy that was in that hole was like not hitting the boys or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's just like behind this and
Trying to
holding on to this
It was great.
inflatable
like he was-
waving tube man.
like you. It was inappropriate and amazing. And I was like, this man is the MVP. And I took a picture, but it's like super grainy. But I was like, oh my God. I'm like,
There was
my job is I'm holding inflatable man and making sure he's not taking out the band. Like,
Yeah, because there was a few around the outside
And
of
they had
this
it
like
down, like-
eyeball that they would just like completely topple over, and they didn't really care because they'd come back up. But there was a few down the runway where they were
Yeah.
running, and there was guys there too making sure they didn't fall on the fans.
yeah, it was. But I also thought it was like at some point they were like dancing in a way that I'm like, oh, look, that was like perfect timing. He just like popped his head back up. I was like, and they had
And they had
they had
confetti as
faces
well?
on both sides, and they had confetti. I was like, yeah, Cake by the Ocean, bitches. This is great. I'm like, so that was like my
I
second.
also turned to
That was your
Chinzia
second.
during that part, and I was like, "Do you think the rest of DNCE is like what the f, man?"
I know.
Like,
And then I said to D, I'm like, I don't even know what they look like. They could be on stage playing instruments. This could be the rest of the band.
That's true. They could.
no, I don't
I feel
recall.
like there's a girl.
There's a girl, and she's Asian. I feel like you would have.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, there were some girls on stage wearing like sparkly
None of them were
dresses.
Asian.
No. So then that was the end of Act 1,
Ooh la la!
which really wasn't any difference. And
I think this
they
is
just-
when they changed,
they
like
changed into
fully
their
changed
pajamas.
outfits.
They're like, are they going to change their pants? Who knows? Yes, they did. So then they came out, and their second thing, so then they sang Come Back, which I thought was a good thing to come
was
back
good, yeah.
to. Like, oh, well, you're coming back to the concert because it's Act 2. And I like that song. When You Look Me in the Eyes.
Yes, which was also like a big single back in the day, but you guys didn't seem to know it.
Yeah, I was just like,
When you look me in the eyes, tell me that you love me. No, you guys don't want to hear me sing. Carry on.
all right, cool.
It's
I would love to
beautiful,
hear you
beautiful
sing.
singing. Diane.
Then
Thank you.
I Believe.
That's the new album. I
Yes.
believe,
Yeah,
I believe, I believe.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that one. So then they had like a medley of their old songs.
Yes, because they went back to the B stage.
Yes.
And they were like, we wanted to like pack in as many of our songs as we could, but like obviously whatever. So then they just did like a medley of like a bunch of songs,
Yeah, it was probably, I would say, like 30 seconds to a minute of each, maybe.
none of which I knew, but
don't.
So Mandy.
some people, there was people around us who were
People
like,
around us were like losing their minds. Like, yeah! I'm like,
So at
okay.
least Jonas Brothers fans
So
are happy.
the old Joe Bro fans. So they, so it was Mandy, Paranoid, Got Me Going Crazy, Play My Music, which I think was the theme song for their TV show. I can't remember though.
never watched it.
World War III, Hold On, and Tonight, which it just
And then
amuses me that so many boy bands have the same names of songs.
Yes.
La 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 tonight.
It wasn't
Not
that.
It's not
song.
that one. So then Love Bug.
Yes.
Yes,
So then-
which you should have known, but
I
again,
kind of
you
knew,
didn't.
and I was
It
like,
was good.
okay. And then, guys,
Oh my gosh.
I heard the opening notes,
This is the one.
and
Then
then I
Shania
was
was
just like,
Woo! She
it was
from her.
year 3000. And
great.
I was losing my mind,
It was
and I
such a
was
good
like
song.
friggin' singing along. I think Diane might
I
have got some of
recorded
it.
you for a few seconds.
It
Yeah,
was good, but I was just like, wow, like I do still like the busted version better than the Jonas Brother version, but still very exciting. And then I'm just like singing along and they're fucking killing themselves laughing.
was
And I was just
very
like, oh, look,
entertaining.
Chinzia's finally awake now. And I was just, I was
That's
like,
why it
the
was
concert is
amusing.
over, we can go. Which, if you were at the Friday show, that's when the concert was over because
It's true.
there was some sort of
Technical
technical or electrical
yes,
difficulties.
allegedly.
People on Twitter were losing it because they missed the last two songs. So
Because the fans were
Well,
staying
the
in their
last two
seats for half
songs-
an hour.
So because,
apparently.
but after Busted, so sorry,
Busted.
Busted. After year 3000, 3000, that was technically the end. And then then they come back for the encore. So on the Friday show, they didn't get to do the encore because it either ran over time.
Nobody really knows. They say it's technical difficulties, but I don't understand how you encounter technical difficulties at the end of the show. How was everything fine up until the very
it's
end?
Too dangerous for them to come out. And other people are like, they just didn't want to pay the fine for going over time. And I'm like, do they have that though if it's an inside concert? Because I know, like, outdoor concerts, there's
that's what I don't understand
11 p.m.
either.
cutoff, right?
Right.
So,
if it's an outdoor venue, it's an 11 p.m. cutoff.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you go over 11,
they might let you do acoustic, or they might just
you can get. I remember
the Backstreet Boys
was
Chicago.
that Backstreet Boys show in Chicago where literally they came in and just like the venue itself cut the power, and they were like, I'm sorry, we can't. Like, the boys were going to continue and just pay whatever fine, I guess.
Was it in a world like this?
I don't remember.
Possibly.
Never gone.
But they were like, people were losing their mind then too because they missed the end of the show.
So Diane sent us the Twitter thing on Friday, and she's like, oh, everyone's losing their mind on this Joe Bros thing. I'm like, I don't know. And then people are like, well, you better make it up for us tomorrow. And the other people are like, we don't have money to go to 2 concerts. And then I was just like, Diane's like, we picked the right concert. So yeah.
Sure did.
Dude, if I missed the last 2 songs, I would have been.
I would have been fine because you're 3000 is amazing and I love it. But then they came back and there was and they had the flames going and stuff, and it was for burning up
for you, baby.
And so that was very like dramatic and awesome. And then obviously
so much fire.
It was like fire. I'm like, it was pretty entertaining. We could almost feel the heat from where we were. Well, because we were behind the stage, so you could feel the heat. And then obviously
our
they
favorite song,
ended with "Sucker," which was a very good end. And you're pumped as you're leaving the show. So yes. So all in all, I would say it was a really good show.
It was a fun show. Yeah.
I kind of wish I could have seen everything.
Yes. Maybe we'll see if we can get cheap tickets in November.
No.
So it was good, but not that good.
Listen, I'm set for a while. Maybe like in a year or something.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I thought it was really good. It was good to see all the fans and stuff. I wasn't a huge fan of the outfits, the suits.
They were better than the Backstreet Boys, and that is the one thing
true.
I will say.
Yeah.
At least they weren't that ugly.
Yeah, that's true. Some of them were. Yeah.
You're gonna be reminded.
I'm gonna be reminded
tomorrow.
of that camouflage pants and weird shit that AJ
stuff.
had going on.
Yeah. So many ugly things.
Yeah. Well,
Brian's
anyways, but I thought they did a good job. I feel like I'm sad that Kevin doesn't get more recognition, but he's not really singing. He's playing the guitar.
Do you think he's upset about that?
And then we were like, "Where's Frankie Jonas?"
I was trying to like,
because that's how their band is, right? It's a band, so
yeah. And he does like a lot of other things, and like it is what it is. It's like, I don't think in the heyday of NSYNC that Joey and Lance and Chris were like, oh God, I feel so dejected because everyone loves Justin and JC. Like,
no, but because they're a traditional boy band, they were still performing and doing all the songs and singing. Like, obviously they didn't have as many solos and things, but like,
oh, you're saying,
I'm just saying that because technically the Jonas Brothers is more of a band than a boy band, right?
Mm-hmm. It's more like Hanson.
Yeah, it's more like Hanson. So I guess Kevin doesn't sing, and I just felt like I'd like to hear what Kevin sounds like because he can't be that bad.
Well, he harmonizes. No. Oh. He harmonizes with them at some points. Like, they did give him a mic, unlike like some of the other performances that they do at these like MTV, Billboard, whatever the hell things they are, where he doesn't even have a microphone. Saturday Night Live, he didn't even have a microphone. Like, they weren't even pretending.
Yeah.
But sometimes during the show he did. Sometimes he didn't.
And he did come out and chat for a bit too. He did one of the first thing about like the talking, like, hey, well, it's great to be in Toronto. And even though the Raptors thing has been a few months, we still got a We the North thing at the end. So
yeah.
Was that Joe or Nick?
I don't know.
I think it was Joe.
I wasn't paying attention.
So Sophia didn't even know this happened.
And
Diane's like, We the North, yeah!
Yeah, because everyone was like, woo! And so I was like, yeah, Raptors! And then these two were like, what are you screaming about? I'm like, he just said,
hear any of that.
We the North. And Shinzi was like, right, sports, okay.
Oh, sports.
I didn't hear it.
But yes, so...
We the champs.
Yeah, so we
We
didn't have
the
any
champs.
extra guests. Nobody came. I think a couple of the shows they had some like people that
Yeah.
came out.
It was just pure Jonas Brothers.
So yeah, but yeah, no, that was good.
Overall, very good. I feel like same as the album. Like it was good. I was happy with it, but it's not like
Cup of tea?
too old for this. Really.
Yes. Old for this.
Oh, my favorite thing was at and this is weird, so I don't know if they were selling it somewhere because I didn't see it at the merch stand. But I saw several people wearing like this Jonas Brothers shirt that looked like the Friends logo. So it was black and it had like the little colorful dots in between Joe Bros. And then it said the one where they got back together, or they were
Yeah,
the
you
one
were
with the
saying that.
reunion
That
and stuff.
sounds fun.
I'm like, that's cute. And I did see a lot of cute T-shirts.
Could
and
be
stuff.
on could be on an Etsy store. Or
Yeah,
maybe they just
maybe.
sell it on their website.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, I was just like, oh, this is a cute T-shirt. I like this.
They also did that thing when Sucker came out. They did like a few things where they like put other music over the video, and they did one because they have a clapping thing in Sucker.
Yes. Oh, that was
Those are
fun. That
fun,
was fun.
yes.
We were all over.
So there's like in the Friends theme song how you
Oh,
have to
yeah,
clap.
the clap.
maybe
So they
that's
synced it
why.
up with that, and they did
Interesting.
a video with like the Friends theme song, that music over the Sucker video, and like the clap. Oh God, I just hit the mic.
Okay, so maybe that's what.
So
that was
I'm thinking
referring to.
that's like what inspired that.
yeah,
Awesome.
They were very cute T-shirts. So yeah.
Yeah.
And when they posted that video on their socials, they put the one where they got back together.
Ah, it all makes sense now.
Indeed, it's all coming together.
Yes, it all ties together.
All right.
Get off.
Well, anything else? Everybody good?
No, we're good. I
think we're
Thumbs
good.
up.
Thumbs up. Good job, Joe Bros.
Yeah.
Keep on coming. If you want to be on our show, just hit us up.
All right. So next week, the long-awaited O-Town album review. As requested by Dan Miller himself on Twitter.
Yes, we got this, guys.
We are going to do a track-by-track review of that album. I know it came out like a month ago.
It's a very
But-
good album. We enjoy it. So spoiler alert on that. We will probably be listening to it on our 12-hour drive.
It
each
is
way.
coming. I promise it will be here next week. So make sure you come back next week
We're excited
to hear that. And until then, thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.